want to give you my review for the EcoFlow River 3. This is their upgraded version to their River 2, and it has a few unique benefits. One, it's a little bit smaller, a little bit better form factor for storage. So when you compare it to the River 2, so this is the River 2, this is the River 3. As you can see, it's a little bit more ergonomic, or a little bit easier to store, a little bit easier to pack without this kind of a little bit this bulky handle. That handle has now been integrated into the battery. It's also shorter. It's also quite a bit shorter and pretty close to the same size. The weight is about the same, about 6.5 pounds on both of these. And the output is very similar as well. This has 300 watts of normal output. This has 300 watts of normal output. These both can go up to 600 watts of normal output. And they both have a peak output of 600 watts. Now, the only difference is this one's a 256 watt hour battery and this is a 245 watt hour battery. Really not a huge difference, but there is a small difference there in the overall capacity of the battery. Both batteries have a solar input. You got a solar input there, and then you got a solar input there. Both batteries have a very similar front look. This one's just a little bit more compact with the River 3. Both have the car charger, both have the 3-prong and the 2-prong, both have the 2 USB-A's and 1 USB-C, and both have a very similar size screen. I think it's actually identical size screen. You can charge them both up in about an hour, from 0 to full in about an hour. So both of them charge up very fast. The pricing on these two is actually pretty similar as well. But right now on Amazon, the EcoFlow River 3 is a little bit cheaper than the EcoFlow River 2. The biggest difference between the River 2 and the River 3 is going to be what EcoFlow calls the X-Gen Power. That's what the EcoFlow River 3 has. It's called the X-Gen Power, and it's supposed to, at least EcoFlow claims, that it's going to double the runtime of any appliance under 100 watts. So that's going to allow this to run things for a longer time because it's able to run things a little bit more efficiently than the EcoFlow River 2. So with everything else being pretty much equal, having this one is a little bit more energy efficient, have a little bit longer runtime, I'd probably go with the River 3, especially if you can find it on a deal, because sometimes you can find it on a deal that's even cheaper than the EcoFlow River 2. I'm really impressed with both of the batteries. They both are very good batteries. They're really compact for their size. A lot of the EcoFlow actually claims that they're 30% smaller than the average. So if size is something that is a concern for you, definitely look at an EcoFlow because these are going to be smaller, more compact, and a more user. What EcoFlow calls X-Gen Power, which in their words, they claim it revolutionizes the energy efficiency and it doubles the runtime of appliances under 100 watts, which is really cool. Anything that can allow you to run a battery for longer and allow you to power things for longer is phenomenal. Because you only have a certain amount of power in here, and the better you can get that power into another device, the happier I'm going to be. Let me show you some of the things that I can run off of these different power banks. So I'm just plugging in my MacBook, and it's pulling, let's see, about 35 watts. I think 37 or so watts at max, and it's charging it with no problem. It says it's going to last 5 hours charging at that level. I then added my phone, I plugged in my phone as well, and for some reason I didn't record it, but then it went down to 3 hours after putting the phone and the computer on. So I don't know if that's super helpful, but that gives you a little idea of how long this River 3 is going to last when you're charging other equipment up.